Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Jianu, Pakhair Agale, Nihama, Sunushume, Washmale, Ohio Gonzalez, Guten Morgen, Privet, and hi, hugs and hellos to everybody who's tuned into PT World and watching World this morning alongside Shazad Khan. And look who's back! Back again, Ma Magdum. Hello, Ma. How are you?
I'm very good. It's good to be back. And yeah, you can't get rid of me that easy.
Well, we never wanted to.
Excellent. How have you been?
I mean, we have been great, but what about you? How was your journey back home?
It was wonderful. I went to see my family. My brother had a baby, so I am now
Mashallah.
officially an auntie. So now, when someone calls me auntie, I won't mind. I never minded before, but it used to sting. But now it's a really good feeling, and it was good to be home. I got to see all my friends after like 2 years.
So may I
very nice.
proceed, Auntie?
Yes, absolutely. No, wait, no,
All
if
right,
you call
so-
me auntie, I will kill you.
It's perfectly all right. You
Yeah.
know, we are happy that you're back.
Thank
You know,
you.
the team's complete.
Yeah.
And everybody, out there, our viewers, they even missed you as well.
I missed you
But
guys as
we are
well.
glad that you're back.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
we
good
got
to be
each
back.
other's back too as well.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think with that, we'll continue our conversation about what's going to happen in the next few coming days. But before we do that,
Yes.
I've got these updates to share. And I think for all those people who live in Islamabad, Rawalpindi and the surrounding areas, they'll be very happy about it because we have been hearing that, that the new airport's going to be open soon.
Yeah.
So Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif reviews progress of new Islamabad airport and says infrastructure projects are backbone of a growing economy. New Islamabad airport will be inaugurated on 14th of August. So that's a
Excellent.
good
That's
news.
a really good sign. I mean, using the airport as well, it was, it gets a bit problematic, and it's the capital. So, we need to step up our game a bit. But it's good to see that people are really doing their jobs in the airport as well, which was really good to see.
Yeah, it
I
is
liked
great
it.
indeed, and I have been to this new airport where it's being constructed,
Okay.
and I must tell you that it's state-of-the-art facility over there as well.
Excellent.
So moving on, the next news is about our premier as well. Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif directs to extend the national health program to the entire country, including FATA, Gilgit-Baltistan, and Azad Kashmir.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So a
It
lot
is.
has happened since I've been gone. Like, it seems like you guys have changed it up. You're reading news now. It's like,
Well, it's not
what's
like
going
reading
on?
news. It's like for all those people who don't like watching news, or probably they don't get time, and they do watch our show. So it's just the updates which we want to share with them.
Excellent. That's
And then for all the cricket fans, Pakistan Cricket Board Executive Committee Chairman Mr. Najam Sethi Saab says Pakistan Super League will help bring international cricket back to Pakistan. So PSL is going to be here. PSL is going to be on in February as well. It's almost around the corner. And the final is going to take place in Lahore too.
Amazing.
So-
That's
so
going to be
that's
so much
great,
fun.
isn't it?
That's very good. So, Shazad, so tell me, what are we going to be discussing today? I mean, I know, but let's share with the viewers.
Okay, before we share that with them,
yes.
and I think we've got a public service message to give away.
Yes,
Yeah, do
absolutely.
you want to do it or you want me to
I
do
can
it?
start it. Yeah,
Okay,
so
go ahead.
basically, we're talking about not wasting our natural resources. So, if you have got the lights on, electricity, or any gas, switch it off because, there's a lot of load shedding and we want to preserve it, right?
Exactly,
Reserve it.
that's what it is, and it's not just about electricity as well, it's about gas, because these days, in winters, the gas consumption is quite high.
Yep.
So what people do is that they probably turn on their heaters or geysers, and then they make sure that they're just turned on without any reason. Even when they're not at home, they just want, the feeling they want is that when we come back home, our houses or home should be warm. Please don't do that. That's quite a lot of wastage. And, in a country like Pakistan, where that the resources are becoming a bit scarce too, please make sure to play your role as well.
Exactly.
And I think that will perfectly lead on to what we're going to discuss today. So
Yes.
what I said was that we need to be a very socially responsible member of the society because of the fact that, if we are not going to share, or if we are not going to think about all of those resources, as I was mentioning earlier, how do you think that we'll probably emerge as a great nation? Now, there are people who do share their experiences and whatever fortes they have from any walk of life. What they are doing is that they have this humane heart inside them with which they want to help people.
Exactly, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. People who are going out there and helping the ones that are less fortunate, especially the ones who have special needs, who live with special needs, or, they need as much opportunities as everyone else has, and we need to become more inclusive as a society. So there are, like Shazad said, there are people in the society who are working on this, and they are focusing specifically on this area.
So I think let's see
Yep, so let's
whom do we
introduce.
have over here in the
Okay,
studio today.
so we've been joined by Miss Aisha Iqbal. She is the founder and MD of Faiz-e-Aam Trust, which underneath falls Mount Hira School. Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Assalamualaikum.
Thank
How
you
are
so
you?
much
So
for
that
joining us.
particularly means that she's a philanthropist as well.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming over. It's lovely to have you. So let's talk about it. When, in your life you actually decided that you're going to do something for the society and for all of those poor kids who are out there.
Well, I shared this story with a lot of people before as well, and it's so amazing that one day I was just passing through, this F10 Markaz,
Yeah.
and
I like Adde wala burger there.
and yeah, so our car stopped at a signal, and there were so many, children coming in, and they were wiping our windshield, and they were saying that, they were just talking and asking, begging for money or asking for help. So I just asked them, where do you live? Where are you from? What's your ages? I started talking to them. They said to me that, and I also asked them, do you study? And they said, we want to study, but we can't because our parents don't want to or they can't afford to.
No.
And at that moment, I thought my children study in such hi-fi schools. And these are also children of the same nation,
Exactly.
but they don't have those opportunities. And I felt very disturbed. For a lot of weeks, I kept thinking about it. And I wanted to do something, but I didn't know how to.
Okay.
Then one day, suddenly, I just grabbed, a chatai. And I went to the F10 Markaz. I bought a whiteboard and a stand with it, a few packet of chips. And I went there and, there's a small, big space in front of F9 Park, touching the F10 Markaz. So I just, wahan pe chatai bichai, and I just sat there and I put some chips with the chatai to attract those children, the street children, what we call them. And I kept some copies there and the whiteboard, and I started waiting for them. And within like 15 minutes, there were like 35 children over there. They came for the chips, I know,
Yeah.
but I made them sit and I taught them a little ABC, a little 1, 2, 3, a little bit about, what is Bismillah, what is Auzubillah, and, a few things like that.
Okay. Excellent.
They were actually so happy because at the end I gave them a treat.
Yeah.
So for a few days, I kept doing the same thing, and the children keep coming for food, but I kept teaching them at the same time.
Excellent.
But aista, I felt कि उनमें शौक पैदा हो रहा है, शौक for studies. They started liking it. They wanted to come, and before I even used to reach at that spot, they would gather there to wait for me.
All right.
And then this is how those classes started for 2 hours every day.
Excellent.
Yeah. And after this class in F10, my friends, they came to know about it. My family came to know about it. Some school children, some university students, they saw me doing this,
Right.
and they said, we want to, chip in. We want to do something for this cause. So we started such classes in F8 Markaz, in a park near F8 Markaz, then in a park near G11 Markaz.
So basically, that it was more word of mouth, and you started going to different sectors. But now you founded Mount Hira School as well.
Yeah.
So tell us, what happened when you started that, and how did you get the funds together for that as well?
Yeah, so there was my brother's friend, and he saw us doing this for a long time, and he said that I have a house. So this is how, we know that there are so many good people out there. Sometimes they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They want to do good things, but they don't know how to. So he said, I have this house, it's empty, you can have it. And you can, open up a school in it.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And we were overwhelmed, but we thought it's from Allah, because if you start doing something with a good intention, with a good niyyah, Allah Ta'ala always helps.
So now this school is in G12.
It's in G12,
So,
yes.
so then, how do you think that all of those street kids, they make sure that they are there in the school as well, or how do you guys make sure? Because I think for somebody who live in F8 or F6, because you have been having these training programs over there as well in different parks.
Yeah.
How do those kids actually reach there, because it's far away for them?
Well, my father arranged for a school van.
Okay, very nice.
We actually gather all those kids. We bring them to G12.
Every day?
Every day, yes. Well, not each and every one of them come, but some of them did join us. And mashallah, a lot of them, they completed their class 5 last year.
Wonderful.
and they're going to the government schools now because they got the certificate. We make them take exams of class 5 board exams,
Okay.
and then we make them take admission in a government school, and this is how they continue their study. We keep supporting them financially.
And then you keep supporting them financially.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, now I
Wonderful.
want to come down to a point where you have managed to arrange this street store as well.
Yeah.
Where, you know, anybody can come and buy whatever they want for 10 rupees only. What's the method behind this 10 rupees policy?
Yeah, I would like to add in before this
Yeah.
that this year, Alhamdulillah, we were able to build our own campus, school
Wow.
campus, and this was all because of the donations, because of Allah's help, and the donations poured in by friends and family only.
Okay.
No
Friends
government
and family
support or
only, that's
everything,
it.
anything, but I hope inshallah in future. But in this campus, it's a big campus and it's a beautiful school. I want you guys to visit there
Yeah.
sometime.
We should have got
Ex-
photos and stuff this time.
Yeah,
We should have had photos.
yeah, bilkul. Maybe I can send you later.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, we'll share them on our Facebook page.
It's on my Facebook, so you can get
Great.
it from there. So anyway, this is a huge campus in which we're running quite a few projects besides the school, including the street store where we gather stuff from, good quality stuff from different people, friends and family, and then we pack them, and then, we tag them with 10 rupees, 20 rupees at the most, even shadi wale jode bhi aur is tarah ki cheezein bhi, just so that, it doesn't hurt the self-esteem of the people coming in.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, because, they shouldn't think that they're begging or we're giving them some
And then
heat.
what do you do with the money you generate from that store?
Ye sara money it comes back to this street school,
Okay,
Mount
very
Hira
nice.
Street School. Alhamdulillah, usi ke projects mein lag raha. Nothing is going in anybody's pockets.
Okay.
Besides this, we're also doing some other projects.
Yep, exactly. So let's move on to that. So, so you're helping people, keep their self-respect, and also it's very good for their psychology and psychological aspect when you're dealing with such problems. But now you're also helping with their vocational skills as well. So it's not just the children that you're helping. You're also helping the older females with their sewings and potential business ventures. So tell us about that as well.
Well, we felt that after primary school, the people of slum areas, they do not allow or permit their women or girls to study further, and we thought it was such a big issue because how would they be able to stand on their feet or earn their own bread and butter if they're only 5वीं class tak to kuch bhi nahi ho sakta. So then we started giving them vocational training. This is how we started actually. But then other women also started coming in, and alhamdulillah, we're running quite a few things like cooking classes and sewing and cutting. Computer training is one of our basic vocational
Wonderful.
training. We have a computer lab, alhamdulillah. Somebody donated it, Allah unko ajr de. And also we started a vocational training of the transgenders community recently.
Wow,
Excellent.
that's
Just
good.
so that, they're able to earn their bread and butter respectfully.
And I'd like to just add on that because I was in England and I saw someone who was a transgender,
Yeah.
and everyone in England, they were like either laughing or staring, and I felt awkward for that person. And what I realized was within Pakistan, actually, we're very accepting of these things,
Yes,
and
we are.
people actually allow them. I mean, they need more rights and they need a lot more work, but done for their favor, but. People don't mock them as much as, I saw it was happening abroad. It's much more accepted in a way here.
Yeah, in a way.
In a way.
Not even in a way. I think even in the masses, it's very well accepted, and we do not
really
even
something
make
to be
fun of
proud of,
them.
yeah.
Because now I think I'm going to share this amazing news as well. Soch band, recently it's a Pakistani band.
Yes.
They came up with a video where there was a transgender in their video, and the only reason why they hired a transgender to be in their music video is because of the fact that they wanted to, erase or probably eradicate all of those barriers or stigmas which were there within the society. And
Yeah, they're also
somebody,
human beings.
somebody coming up with an, with an NGO of a philanthropic nature, obviously, and telling that you've got a computer lab or a vocational training center for transgender, definitely you do deserve
Hey, that's
a big
excellent.
round of applause. And at the same time, just imagine how happy they would
Oh,
be
yes.
as well, man.
Oh yeah, respect is a need of every person, every human being, and so that's all we want to do. That every kind of person should be respected.
But the only
And
thing
this
they
is
need,
how-
but the only thing which everybody needs to know is that respect is something which you cannot ask. You deserve it.
Yeah.
So please make sure that you know
And
you
also
don't have to ask for it.
Exactly. So you have to give respect in
Yeah.
order to also gain it. Now, I'm just talking about all this work that you're doing. Obviously, you've had a lot of friends and family donate, and you've had a lot of, luck as well, and spiritual luck as well from God. But how do you make sure that the volunteers that are helping out are adequate and they're treating people right and you're getting the right education out there? So how are you managing all of this aspect?
Well, the school is very well settled now, alhamdulillah. We have a proper principal who's been working with me since the beginning. We have a vice principal. We have a proper management of the school, just like any other school. It's a registered primary school with PRA.
Great.
And that's how our students are able to, take the board exams and go into other schools after that. I'm actually basically not micromanaging, but I do keep have a look at everything that is happening. I keep managing everything myself as well, although I'm a mother of 3 and I'm a teacher trainer by profession.
Now you are a mother of
Wonderful.
hundreds, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
See,
Exactly.
that's the best part.
And in the 21st century, I think that's the way forward, because it's about having a career and having children and managing it all and working as a partnership within your family, because the income cannot be supported by one person now.
Exactly.
Times have changed, so that's wonderful that you're promoting that as well. And
But then, Ma,
the
there's
kids
one.
are seeing this.
Yeah, there's one more thing which
Yes.
whenever people of such job orientation probably, they come over onto the show. There's one thing which I request them, and that is that, for example, you just told us that lab was donated by somebody. But if he or she was willing that, you could probably take their name, we should, because I think that will motivate other people as well, and then, their own morale, and then their own feeling of doing more and more will definitely be there.
Credit where
love to
credit
tell-
is due.
I would love to tell. His name is Sir Salman, and he's the head of Smart Brains Institute.
Oh, okay.
If you know him
Yes,
already.
I think we've had them on the show as well. Yeah.
And you know what? We have actually started the Smart Brains, whole thing with our school children as well. So that is a very expensive course, but Mount Hira school children are availing it.
Okay,
Alhamdulillah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And okay, so apart from doing the school, having the shop, having vocational training, you guys are also doing monthly food drives.
Yeah, because
So tell us, what is the purpose of these monthly food drives? Is it not better to, they say, give the man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach the man to fish, he will, eat for a lifetime.
Yeah.
So what are we doing in regards to that?
Well, we believe that a healthy body has a healthy mind.
Yes.
So if we want to work on minds, तो पेट तो भरा होना चाहिए ना, वरना
Yeah.
कुछ भी समझ नहीं आ रहा होता.
Yeah.
So that's why we give daily snacks to our school children, and we run a program called Dastakhan Street Lunch Program, which gives in which we go to different slum areas, and we arrange food for like 200, 300 people at a time.
Okay.
This is how it goes on.
Okay.
Also, we arrange medical camps.
Okay.
For
No, but
Wonderful.
before moving on to medical camps, mashallah, it's a good deal that you're pretty much looking after each and every aspect of their life.
Great.
So when you say slums, there are different areas. There are different areas where people are hungry and they do need food, and then there are people who are doing these food drives as well. How do you choose a place, or how do you identify a sector or somewhere where you want to go, where that people over here are needy?
Well, these places are mostly the ones from where we know at least one person personally. It can be myself or one of my relatives or anyone, like mates के जगह होती हैं जहाँ पे वो रहती हैं.
Okay.
G12 is actually G12 after Mehrabadi ka ilaka is a big area. The whole area is slum. It's on sectors, like I think there are 12 or I don't know, 20 sectors, where people live in houses made of polythene bags.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And,
Okay.
like that.
Okay. Okay, so you find them, and that's very good. And now, finally, one last message, because we, going to wrap up the segment. But what would you like to say to all the people watching out there? What is the purpose of, you being on the show and kind of getting that message out there?
Yeah, and before you do that, tell us about those medical camps and Shadi assistant programs as well.
Yeah, these are a couple of more projects that we are running. Medical camp is like for all these people who have, little they're even if they're sick a little bit, they can't afford to go to a doctor. So their illness increases, and sometimes they die out of a cough. Just because they can't afford to go to a doctor when the cough was just a little bit. So we try to help them. I've seen children who had a little allergy, skin allergy, and then it increased so much that now they can't even move. So I thought, the hospitals are sometimes so expensive that even we think twice before going there. So what would happen to these children, So that's how we started the medical camps within our own premises, alhamdulillah.
Very nice.
We do it on weekly basis.
And the Shadi Assistance program.
Yeah, we don't go on looking for spouses because that's a very difficult thing.
Matchmaking,
But once, no matchmaking. But once everything is decided, we support them financially. Both the families, like we give them place where they can arrange their wedding. We can arrange the Maulvi Saab for them, and arrange a lunch for them or a dinner for them, or a little bit of things that the woman would like to take to the other house.
And now in days to come, mashallah, it's a good deal that you're doing it. Thank you very much for making us aware that there are people who are doing so much for everybody almost out there.
Exactly.
So, even if I would be hungry, I think I could probably just sit in on that chatai and I'll be like, I'm having these chips, I don't care. But now, since you just mentioned that all of this you were able to do all of this because of the fact that your friends and family members were very supportive. But since you have an organization now with the name of Faiz-e-Aam, now are you looking forward to more donations, or you guys are not looking for donations? And if you are, please share your contacts so that people who are watching, they can check by themselves that how authentic you guys are, and then probably they can go forward
Yes,
with
of
donations.
course. Well, since I said this is the whole thing is running on donations by friends and family and people who know us. So I would request everybody to come over and have a look, visit our school, and have a first-hand experience looking at the children, coming from slums.
So what is your website page?
Well, we have a Facebook page by the name of Mount Hira Street Children's School in brackets.
Okay.
Yeah, Mount Hira, and then Street Children's School in brackets.
Okay, so you can find that on Facebook and find out any information you would like to know. But thank you so much for your time. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.
So guys, we're going to wrap up this segment, and then when you come back, we're going to learn some more about what's happening within Pakistan.
Yeah, or probably what we can do if we love fish.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Good morning.
The Festival of Lamps, or Mela Chiraga, is a very important and popular event in Pakistan. This is celebrated every spring on the last Friday of March outside the Shalimar Gardens. The show has been described as an eloquent expression of Pakistan's heritage and an authentic account of its agricultural and industrial achievements. The Fortress Stadium, the venue of the show, is thronged by active participants, foreign visitors, and people who watch the festival with great enthusiasm, verve, and aplomb. A large number of them are interested in watching and appreciating the best breeds of livestock. Many derive pleasure by watching other activities, such as the display parade of animals, dances by horses and camels,
right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for everybody who just got tuned into PTV World. You're watching World this morning alongside Shazad and Maan.
Yes.
Maaz finally back. Earlier we
Yay.
were discussing.
You don't have to look so happy about it.
No, I am happy.
I know, I'm joking, I know.
I'm just trying to keep all of those things in my head, which our boss said that, you know, okay, you don't have to be all over the place, and the person sitting right next to you is not a.
Let's all use that word. That
Okay, I cannot say that. I cannot say that. I mean,
But
she said that to
no.
you too as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, it's fine. No, it's
So
absolutely
yeah,
fine.
okay, I don't want to do cat.
no.
I'm just here now. Okay.
No, it's fine. I know how to manage you. It's okay. It's been 3.5 years, Shazad. It's okay. But no, we have, you know, it's really good to be back. It's really surreal. And we've hit the ground running today. And we've talked about charity and giving back. And also our public service announcement was about being more socially responsible. Now we're going to be talking about a very different aspect of Pakistan and
Yeah.
what's happening here, right?
Because you know we do have an economy based on agriculture, and it's not
Exactly.
just agriculture; it's aquaculture too.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's nice.
whenever we talk about aquaculture, what happens is that the first thing which comes to our head, and over here as Pakistanis, you know, we do love to eat too much, and seafood. Wow! As
Love
far as
seafood.
it's not expensive, we'll all be happy to have seafood all day long. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to be in conversation with somebody who can
Yes.
probably open up new dimensions for you guys, because you might never knew that this is what you can do and this is what you cannot.
And
So we're talking about fisheries, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. And so we have been joined by Chaudhry Iftikhar Ahmed. He is the Deputy Director of Fisheries, Government of Punjab. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Walaikum
Thank you
assalam, good
so much for
morning.
joining us
Yes,
today.
thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about it. So, what is the Government of Punjab doing about fisheries? What do we need to
yeah.
know?
First of all, I think I should have some overview of the fishery sector
Yes.
in
Yeah, sure.
Pakistan. Pakistan is very lucky in the sense that it has a plenty of natural resources. We have the marine fisheries resources as well as the inland fisheries resources. Marine fisheries resources are the major resources, and the fish is exported to the European Union and Middle East from the our marine sector. But unluckily, throughout the world, these natural fisheries resources, which we call as the capture fisheries resources, they have become stagnant
Okay.
and have the declining trends. To fill the gap, aquaculture emerged as a new industry. And aquaculture sector at world level, that is contributing a lot. And if we don't have the aquaculture sector, the natural water resources, they cannot cater our
Needs.
fish supply
Okay.
demand.
So do we need to stop eating, or we need to start harvesting?
But as far as our natural resources are concerned, marine resources, they have they are in very constrained position.
Okay.
Recent report from the FAO,
Okay.
which has been submitted during the January 2017, that shows that our natural resources, especially marine fisheries resources, are overexploited, and we
Yes.
need the management strategies to make them sustainable.
Okay.
Right.
But luckily, we have a lot of natural resources on coastal line, and the coastal aquaculture fisheries is still at zero level.
Okay.
Okay.
But luckily, inland fisheries resources, aquaculture is well developed. And especially with the onset of the two major development projects, which were called as the Pakistan Aquaculture Development Projects, which were funded by the Asian Development Bank. We developed a lot of infrastructure.
Okay.
We developed a lot of hatcheries and the fish
Okay.
farming sector that flourished.
Okay.
Punjab took most of the benefit from those projects
Okay.
because they focused on the aquaculture sector. And now we have plenty of fish farms in the private sector, which are
Wonderful.
contributing in the national economy.
Wonderful. Okay, so now as you know, your average citizens, you know, why should people be aware of what's happening in regards to the development of the fishery sector and, you know, the marine fisheries and all the coastal stuff? the
Yeah.
commodity.
In marine fisheries, we can develop the brackish water aquaculture. Tilapia is the best potential fish for that development. Shrimp culture, we can have the shrimp culture. We have one fish, we have one shrimp hatchery at Karachi, but that is not fully functional.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
in Punjab, there is a lot of innovation in aquaculture sector.
Okay.
Now, the first we had the carp culture only in the private sector, but the Punjab fisheries has switched over from extensive aquaculture to intensive aquaculture.
Which
That is production, more production from per
Okay.
unit area.
Okay, but first of all,
Okay.
sir, there's one myth which I want to clear today.
Yes,
I want
please
to
go for
bust
it.
this myth. So quite a lot of people who love seafood, they say that a fish from a farm cannot be as tastier as a fish from the original source. That's what they say, from sea probably, or from wherever where they have been living on their own. Is it true that that fish is more tastier, or this one's more tastier?
I don't think so.
Oh, come on.
If you ask me, I'll prefer the farmed fish.
Okay.
Because if you see the natural water conditions, now we,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
2 to 3 decades before, we were a water surplus country, and now very sharply we are becoming a water stressed country.
Exactly.
And in our natural resources, pollution factor, shortage of water, over exploitation, that has also worsened the quality of the fish.
Okay.
So how many different types of fish do we have over here in Pakistan?
Yeah, in
Because the
marine
picture we're sharing, I haven't seen quite a lot of
yeah,
these fish
these
over
are
here.
the freshwater fishes from the Chashma Lake
Okay.
in district Miawali. So we at present we have more than 190 fish species in inland waters.
Wow.
And more than
All
3
edible? We can eat them all?
all over the Pakistan, right?
Okay.
26, almost 26 fish species which are of commercial values, and they are eaten
26.
by the people.
Excellent.
Wow.
Now, the situation of having certain areas getting depleted of the natural resources, for example, this happens all over the world. It happens, so it's not just Pakistan that's suffering with that problem. Now, what are we doing to make sure that we don't push the limits to the point where they're all gone and there's no way to bring back the natural livestock?
Actually, we are taking very legislative steps as well. We are assisting the natural resources through hatchery management. We produce the fish seed in the hatcheries and restock them in the nature. Because due to the diversion of waterways and construction of various barrages and dams, the fish breeding grounds, they have depleted. And now you see, we were having the floods, and due to these floods, impoundments were made alongside the river banks, which were the breeding sites of the fish.
Okay.
But now flash floods come, and there is no pondage area where fish can breed. So we have the fish hatcheries.
Okay.
Fish hatcheries.
Yeah.
Fish hatcheries, where we breed the fish, produce a lot of fish seed, and stock them in the natural waters as well as in our small dams. And
So what's the livelihood within the
And then we have
natural water as well?
seeing some now.
I think that's what you call a fish farm, though.
yeah.
That's what it is, and then there are different.
Types.
It's not different types; there are different tanks, and then after like 3
Yeah,
months or 6
I've
months,
been
you
to one.
move them to another one
Yeah.
as well. Because when I went to Kailash, I was very amazed to be there. Then I could see such fish farms as well.
Excellent.
If you see, this is new innovation in Punjab fisheries.
Do tell us about that.
So tell us about this.
This is a cage culture system, where we have the cages of 3 by 3 at Chakwal in 2 dams, Dhrabi Dam and Dhoktalian Dam,
Wonderful.
where we stock the fish at the rate of 60 fishes per square meter.
Okay.
50 fish
Yeah.
per square meter.
And we got a good production from here.
Okay.
And
Okay. Now, you mentioned about the quality of the water. Now, this is an issue that affects a lot of countries, but this is all over Pakistan.
Yeah.
So how are we making sure that the water quality is improving as well? How are we So that the fish can survive.
Already we have the legislation that nobody can pollute the waters.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Industrial effluents, they must not be dropped into, directly dropped into the water without
But
the
I hope they're
treatment.
listening to us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But department at its own level, they are doing their best to make the improvements.
Yeah, I mean, it can't just be one, one sector. Everyone has to play a role in this.
Exactly.
So the civil society has to play a role. The private sector has to play a role as well, and all the businesses.
Okay, and now since the time that we have taken so many other measures, and then there have been so much of innovation. Do you think our exports have risen as well, or they haven't?
For the last 2 or 3 years, our export, fisheries, commodities export, that has become stagnant.
Okay.
Because the marine sector,
Yeah.
which was the major contributor in export, that has become stagnant. I should say that has declining trend even. As I mentioned, the report of the FAO, which was submitted during this January 2017. So we need to manage these resources on sustainable basis.
Okay.
Exactly.
And for the purpose, because we have almost 1,100 kilometer of coastline, and all the population along the coastline, that is directly dependent upon the fisheries sector.
Okay.
And all the burden is on the marine fisheries. If we develop the coastal line as an aquaculture sector, that can bring a revolution. We will have the maximum economic yield from the marine sector as well, maximum sustainable yield from the marine sector. And as well, those poor peoples which are directly involved in the fishing, they should come towards the aquaculture sector.
Okay, but if we do that, just before we wrap up the segment, if we start doing that, won't that start getting depleted? How are we going to maintain that as well? Because you start a revolution, everyone runs to it, then everything kind of disappears as well after a point. So
But that's why they're saying that we
sustainable?
need to move on with aquaculture.
Okay.
Because
coastal.
our coastal line that is almost abundant.
Okay.
That is not used for the agriculture purpose, neither that's
Okay.
being used for the aquaculture sector.
All right.
Right.
And if we give the incentive to the fisheries community
Yeah.
to come on aquaculture side, then
That
we
is
will be reducing the pressure on the.
And I think we
marine sector.
definitely need to do that too.
Yes.
But thank you very much, sir, for
Thank you
joining
so
us. Thank you
much.
very much for
Thank
sharing such immense and useful information.
Yes.
Thank you very much once
You're
again. But
welcome.
ladies and
Thank you very
gentlemen,
much.
we are not done. The show's not over.
No, it's
So
not.
that
She's
was
a-
that was fish earlier, but now we're going to move on to fruit of the day, and we have picked up on guava.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Especially
go ahead.
it's a guava, it's guava, and it's one of my favorite fruit. And
Mine
it's also
too.
known as amrut.
Yeah.
And it is delicious and it's very good for you. So the benefits of guava are it is an immunity booster. It lowers the risk of cancer, and as all the fruits we've shown you, they do lower the risk of cancer. It is also diabetes friendly, so if you do suffer from diabetes, you can eat it. And it's also very healthy for your heart. It prevents digestive problems, and it improves your eyesight.
Oh,
and,
I feel like eating it right
And it
now.
also is very good for your teeth. So if you have a
Yeah.
toothache, you can eat one of these. And it's good for stress because of all the nutrients. And it's good for your brain. It helps you in weight loss. And if you have a cough and cold, it's also very good for you. And also it's anti-aging for all the people out
And
there
it's
who
good
worry.
for digestion too.
Yes, and it's good for your complexion as well, for those who care about that. And another thing is that, all of these fruits that we're telling you, they're very good for you. And, all of them play a part in reducing risk of getting illnesses and diseases. So try and incorporate those into your daily lives.
And try having it with chaat masala. It's more tastier.
Oh, God, you sound like my sister. But also, she loves chaat masala on this fruit. But I like salt and pepper.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
great too.
it's good.
I mean, if you don't have chaat masala, okay, make it work with salt and pepper.
It's quite good.
But that's what it is for today, ladies and gentlemen. And for any further information and details, you can definitely log on to our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of
Well, this morning.
on Twitter,
Well, this morning without a G.
on Daily Motion and YouTube.
Well, this morning.
And the fabulous repeat is going to be at.
11:05 p.m.
So till the next time, no, 11. It's okay. Sorry, ladies
Oh,
and
no, it's
gentlemen, the
changed.
timings have been changed. Okay, it's 11:05
Yes.
once again.
A few.
So PM, that's what it is. So 1, 2, 3.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.